up, friends? Welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are doing well. Today's video is going to be my review of this new palette from Dior. This is called L'Etoile. This is limited edition for 2024. This is a part of their limited edition Plan de Paris collection, so it's a little bit of a special edition. I'm going to be doing swatches, a full look with this, and of course, giving you guys my completely honest thoughts on whether or not this is worth the very hefty price tag. So if you want to hang out with me today, play around with this palette and see if it's any good, then keep watching. So this new collection from Dior features 4 new limited edition eyeshadow palettes, and the one that I'm going to be focusing on today, as I mentioned, is called L'Etoile. I'll show you guys some daylight close-ups and swatches of this palette. This is described on the Dior website as having a pearly sky blue, a luminous pink, a shimmering gold, a glittery blue, and a matte midnight blue. So it is very blue heavy. This is kind of the color of 2024 blues, especially these navies and cornflower blues are very, very hot for this year. Now, as far as details go, for the most part, these palettes are just like any other palette from Dior. You get 4 grams of product. They are made in France. There's no fragrance. There's a 6-month shelf life, and they are talc free, except for one key detail, which I'm sure you guys already know about, and that is they come with this adorable little map of Paris pouch. This is the Plan de Paris or Plan de Paris. It's probably pronounced print that Dior have been putting on a lot of their bags, scarves, and ready-to-wear for the past couple of seasons. I must say, I am very fond of this print. You guys know I love traveling to Paris, so this is a very cute addition. I will be showing you guys some close-ups of this. I will say, it does feel like pretty substantial. It feels a lot nicer than I was expecting from Dior. This is not like one of the free ones that you get with a Tom Ford palette. It's even nicer than some of the velvety ones that I get with Chanel palettes. It feels like a nice, kind of like coated cotton canvas. I don't know, like it's actually pretty thick and quite substantial. That being said, it does jack up the price, which is something that I anticipated. These usually retail for about $65 on the Dior website. At the time of me filming this video, they are not live in the United States, but they are live in the UK. In the UK, the eyeshadow palettes normally retail for £55, but this limited edition version is retailing for £66. So that's about like a $12-ish markup for this little pouch. So kind of keep this in mind, friends, as I'm going throughout the review, and I will let you know at the end if I personally would purchase this if I wasn't, you know, a YouTuber here buying this stuff to review for my channel. It's probably gonna be like around the $80 to $85 mark, and that is a lot for an eyeshadow palette. So I just want to call that out from the start. That is the main difference here. All of the other little details are pretty much the same, and we do get kind of like a nice embossing from Dior here, but honestly, guys, after using this only a couple of times and, you know, swatching it and whatnot, it's already starting to fade, so I wouldn't base my purchase on the pretty embossing. And by the way, if you happen to be enjoying this video, please don't forget to give me a big thumbs up. It really helps me out. And if you are new here, hi, my name is Sophia, and welcome to my channel that is all about having fun with luxury beauty. If you love luxury beauty, or maybe you're just trying to get into it, trying to figure out, you know, what is worth your money, what's good, then you're in the right place, my friend, because I upload new videos just like this one every single week. So hit that subscribe button because we would love to have you. And as one last reminder, friends, because I know I'm gonna get asked, in the description box down below, I will have a shopping guide so you can see which retailers are currently carrying this collection. It's not live in every country, at least at the time of me filming this video. So I'm gonna be doing my best to keep that updated for you. And also make sure you are following me over on Instagram because I usually let you guys know when new products drop every single day. And with that, let's get back to the rest of this review. So I think we're good on the swatches and the basic details. Let's get this palette on my eyes. Now, this is not the first time that I'm using this palette, so this isn't gonna be a first impressions. I have some recommendations for you. And the first thing that I wanna point out before I start applying the shadows to my eyes is that these 3 shades right here are all pretty glittery. Don't forget, this is called L'Etoile, which means star. So it's supposed to give kind of like a sparkly and twinkly effect. So just keep that in mind, okay? These 3 shades all pretty glittery. When I started off my look the first time I used this palette, I started off with this shade, which is also kind of the same color as my skin tone. So I'm putting it on and I'm like, why am I not getting that beautiful satin sheen? I kept looking close and it just looked like glitter on my eye. So that's the kind of thing that you're gonna wanna use as a topper shade. Instead, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in first with the center shade because this actually has a nice, like, you know, classic Dior kind of satin sheen to it. See, that is a very, very nice shade. So I'm just gonna get that on my eye as like a base. I'm using an EYESHADOW V27, and I'm also going to apply that here to the inner corner, and I'm gonna take it kind of like along the lower lash line. I just like to start off with a nice base, and then we're going to layer all of those beautiful blues and the sparkly topper shades on top. Next up, I'm gonna go into this deep navy sparkly shade, and I'm using one of the new Sonia G Summer Koi brushes. I decided to get the set. I caved and I got it, and it is so gorgeous, guys. Check out my Instagram or my YouTube shorts if you want to see some close-ups of these stunning maquillage brushes. Make sure you are tapping off the brush as well, because like I said, it's glittery, okay? It's glittery. So I am going to build this up just here on the outer corner of the eye, and it does have a really beautiful sparkle. Like, even though it's glittery, I think the color is gorgeous. And I mean, if you watch my channel, you know I love the contrast of navy blue and gold. I think it's so classy and flattering. And I also think it's kind of like a good color combo for year round. So I'm not like swiping it across the eye because I don't want to flick the glitter everywhere, but I am just kind of like gently tapping it. And don't worry, it's all gonna get blended out at the end. This is probably one of those looks, or definitely one of those looks that's gonna look real, real ugly until the end when I blend it out and add the mascara. So yeah, you can see that really pretty kind of metallic sparkle. Next, I'm taking this small shader brush from that Sonia G set, and I'm gonna go into the lighter, more cornflower sparkly blue. And I'm going to place this in between those two colors and just kind of blend them together so we get a little bit of that gradient effect. If you just go in with these glittery shades and you don't apply this base, I just find that they don't, I don't know, they don't look as smooth. I think that it's nicer when you can kind of blend and melt them together. And that color is really pretty. Cornflower blue, the color of 2024. Everybody's doing this color in one way or another, whether it be sort of like a springtime cornflower or maybe more of like a denim blue. And I think it's a really great way to wear blue. I'm not even as much of a blue eyeshadow person, but I really do enjoy that tone. Now I'm gonna take the teeniest little brush in the Sonia G set, and I'm gonna go into the deeper navy blue. This is not gonna be glittery. This is great if you want more of like a liner, for example, or if you want to build up even more depth. And I just like to take this here along the lash line, kind of smoke it out just a little bit, and then I'm gonna bring it up here to kind of shape the eye and make it look a little bit more lifted. And don't worry, I will clean all of that up to kind of get the desired shape, but the point here is to just kind of pack on the color very, very precisely. I'm just realizing in this moment that I made a cup of coffee right before filming this review, and I completely forgot about it. I'm gonna have to go get that soon. I'm happy to report that my coffee has been rescued and microwaved, so it is hot again. All right, let's finish up this look. We still need to go into the peachy shade, or I think that they call it a pink. It's not really a pink, it's more of like a nude, a peachy nude, and I'm using a EYESHADOW W19, just like a flat little brush. And like I said, this is also quite glittery, probably the most glittery shade in the palette. So this is gonna be used more so as a topper, just to add a little bit of sparkle. It doesn't really show up that well on my skin tone if I just put it on my eye, which is kind of a shame. I don't really mind the blue shades being sparkly. I don't know, I kind of wish that this one was more of a satin shade, but that's just my personal preference. Like the gold shade is really nice as well, but it doesn't pop that much as a sparkle shade. I feel like you would really need to layer this on top of one of these blues. So you certainly could do that. Maybe this just isn't the right look for it. Actually, I'm gonna add a little bit more gold, if anything. Put a little bit more there in the inner corner So I think this is pretty good. I'm just going to clean up the edges, friends. I'm going to put on some mascara and I will be right back. All right, and this is the final look using the ETOILE limited edition palette from Dior from the Plan de Paris collection. Comment down below and let me know what you think. I do really like the bright pop of the cornflower blue, and when I see it in the light, I do really appreciate all of the glittery sparkles. It does remind me of kind of like a glittering night sky. It feels very Parisian, very chic. It's definitely very blue, but I like these tones. I think it came out really, really pretty. Does require a little bit of like user error in the beginning, at least it did for me. So I'm giving you these tips, so hopefully you'll have better luck with it the first time that you use it. But if you kind of just go in with this as a base first, I think, and then layer the sparkles on top, then I think you're going to be good. Oh, by the way, the lipstick that I'm wearing on my lips is this one from Dior. Of course, this is one of the Rouge Velvets in 218 Rose Rose. It's just a really pretty kind of like everyday pinky nude, and I'll list the blush and everything else from Dior that I have on my face in the description box down below. So while I really like this look, the question is, do I like this palette? Do I think it is worth it? And how does it compare to other, you know, blue and limited edition palettes that I already have in my luxury collection? I hated this palette when I first used it because, like I said, it's very glittery and I was kind of in a rush. I was going out for the night and I was like, ooh, I want to use that palette. It's gonna be such a good, like, beautiful chic evening look. And it did take a little bit of time to create the look. It did take a little bit of trial and error. I wouldn't say that this is a super effortless palette. I think that it is more of like a glam look palette, more of a going out to dinner sort of thing, going out to cocktails, drinks, maybe to an event. This is not the kind of thing that I would wear every day. I do have to do, you know, quite a bit of blending, not because the formula sucks or anything like that, but just because the nature of these finishes and also because it does lean quite deep. I just have to put in a little bit of extra work if I'm going to be doing more of like this dramatic evening look. Also, you do get quite a bit of fallout. As much as I try not to get fallout, you know, I'm as careful as I can be. I still got quite a bit of fallout and I'm able to easily fix it. But once again, it's not the kind of thing that I'm going to reach for every day. It's the kind of thing that I'm going to reach for when I want this beautiful blue, spectacular, you know, sparkly look. I thought that the wear time was pretty good on this. I wore this for like a whole evening out and I thought it looked great by the end of the night. So it's not like it, you know, smudged or anything like that. But these are just things that I think you need to take into account. I really, really like the gold shade in the center. It's beautiful. It's satiny. However, I do wish that there was more of like a balance between the glittery shades and the satiny shades. I really wish that this one was a satin because it just doesn't really pop either on my skin tone or on top of the other shades in the palette very well. And for all of these reasons, friends, I don't really think that this particular palette is worth the hefty price tag. If I was not purchasing this for review purposes, I probably would purchase one of the other palettes in the collection. I probably, to be honest with you, just because of the price, I would go for the neutral one. I think it's called Saint Honoré. I'll put an image of it up here. That's more of like an everyday palette for me. And that is something that I would just reach for more regularly. And when I reach for something a little bit more regularly, I'm able to then enjoy, I know this sounds dumb, but I'm able to enjoy that cute little limited edition pouch, because if that's just sitting in my makeup drawer and I never pull it out, it's like, why did I pay the extra $12 for it? Does that make sense? So it's not a bad palette, but just know it's more of like an evening look. It's more dramatic. It's quite sparkly. You're gonna get fallout. If you like this look and you don't have anything like this in your collection, then it's gonna be worth it, but it wouldn't be my top pick, okay? I just have to be honest. The other thing is that I do have other blue palettes in my collection that I like more than this. Now, I'm gonna show them to you in a second. Don't get mad, because the best one is more expensive than this, but I'm gonna show it to you anyway. If you are looking for a blue palette, but you want something that is not as glittery, maybe a little bit more effortless and easy to use, my favorite is this one right here from Hermes. This is such a gorgeous, chic, I think spectacular palette. I don't know when this video is going live, but I did just film a whole guide of every single Hermes palette. I have all of them in my collection. I know, a little bit excessive, but I reviewed these for you guys. So I've tried every single one, and this one is one of my favorites. I'll show you guys the swatches and the look that I did right here so you kind of get an idea of what this looks like on the eyes. This is also very expensive, okay? I totally get it. It's Hermes. These are about like $100, but I do like this one a lot more than the Dior one. I think that the formula is just a little bit creamier as well, a little bit easier to blend. There's no chunky glitter or anything like that. This shade right here is a beautiful, stunning blue. It's not too far off from the cornflower blue that's in the Dior palette. And then you get these very high shine metallics in the Hermes palettes as well. And that just, like it gives so much more brightness than the two lighter shades in the Dior palette. Here, let me hold them up side by side so you can see. They're not the same color story, but you can get a pretty similar look. So I would highly, highly recommend this one. And then if you like the colors, if you like the drama and you like a little bit of sparkle like the Dior palette, but you want a formula that is not as dry, has a little bit more of kind of like a smoothness to it, looks a little bit smoother on the eye, a bit of emolliency, I would recommend this one from the YSL Mini Couture Clutch Palette Collection. This is, I always pronounce it incorrectly, Palmeraie Skies. Hopefully I did okay that time. Palmeraie Skies. This one also has the cornflower blue. It has this really cool like minty green shade. It also has a sparkly black, but this formula, as many of you know, it's like a little bit softer. I think it's probably better for like drier eyelids, more mature eyes. So I would also check this one out. And actually I have a full review of this palette that I can link down below if you want to, see some looks and swatches and stuff. And then finally, just because I know I'm going to get asked this, I want to show you guys a quick side-by-side of L'Etoile up against the Dior denim palette. This one is a classic. It's been around for years and it is a little bit different. I do prefer the color story, I think, to L'Etoile because I think there's just more contrast and more brightness in this palette. The denim one just leans very deep for me, and some of these colors, they're just not different enough. Like these two colors, they're kind of the same. Also, I will call out that this is the old formula. I can't really speak to the quality of the new reformulated denim palette. If you're new here, you haven't heard of this before, Dior reformulated all of their palettes about a little over a year ago at this point to be talc free. So this is the talc full palette, and a lot of the newer ones can be a little bit dry. So I'm not really sure what the formula is like. So I can't really comment on that, but I can show you here just a quick little side by side so maybe you can decide which one you like better. And that is it. I hope that you enjoyed this review and some of my hot takes of this new palette and collection from Dior. If you like this video, please don't forget to give me a big thumbs up. And most importantly, leave me a comment down below with your reaction. What do you think of this collection? Do you think it's totally overpriced? Are you bored by the colors? Do you love the sparkle? Are you intrigued by the little Parisian pouches? Is that going to get you to purchase? Let me know all of your thoughts in that comment section down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. And with that, friends, I hope that you see some beauty in your day, and I will see you in my next one. Goodbye.